All right, Corey, it's finally here. It's time to become a Biomutant. Corey, it's here. It's finally here. We've seen the delays, and I'm glad it's been delayed because, dude, this is a polished game. Biomutant is finally here, and I've had an absolute blast, dude. I completed the game in around, I would say, about 50 hours into the game. Did all the main story and a bunch of the side quests. I still have side quests to go back and do if I would choose to, but I've done the campaign, which is the coolest part. The overall story is, I really just don't want to say. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to, Corey, let's talk about the game, because the game mechanic starts off, I think, really strong. I think the game intro I thought was fantastic, and then you start to build your character, and the options to build your character I thought were super cool.
Yeah, man. The actual just amount of customization available to you right from the get-go in this game is huge, right? It really allows you to tailor that gameplay to the character that you create. Right from the character creation screen, we have
so
all
cool.
different, it's not it's not your run-of-the-mill character creator, right? We're
No.
setting classes, we're kind of leaning a certain graph a certain way, and it changes the way our player looks, whether they're big, fat, tall, skinny, their head's huge if they have got a big brain, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of kind of comical, funny things that you run across when you do set up this game and start to play through it. But again, they kind of just get you right into it right away. You get into this awesome, I find the combat mechanics in this game to be really, really well. I've had a ton of fun playing it. I like the fact that, maybe it's because I have an elite controller, so I can take advantage of some of the extra buttons and paddles, because there are a few button combinations here that I did find as you get through the move sets, depending on which weapons you use, it can be extensive as well, and you unlock, stuff for that. I mean, there's a lot to talk about here because there's a ton of mechanics at play. This is a very Fable-like RPG, and we talked a little bit at the beginning of this, is that, this is a bit of a beginner RPG in certain elements. I mean, we have three difficulty levels you can play through here: easy, medium, and hard. The default is obviously medium, and honestly, I didn't find it overly difficult at medium. I don't know about you.
No, I didn't either. I thought the medium was at a good pace. I kind of mentioned this off screen to you, is the fact that I feel like Biomutant is an entry-level RPG for my kids, but there's still something there for the adults to get out of this as well, because, dude, I loved the game. Like, I had such a great time. I'm able to go in and completely customize myself, my weapon of choice, right? Like, there's so many different options, and how you upgrade all that. You go out, get material, and you beat certain bosses and things like that along your ventures out in the world. And the world itself is stunning, dude. I took pictures along the way because I like doing the whole that photo mode stuff. Photo mode is super basic. There's nothing special about this, I'm going to be honest. I just happened to capture the moveset at the right light and all that kind of stuff. And, dude, my character was badass looking by the time I was done. He was sick, man. Like, I had a great time. Briefly, the story is like, how do we say this? Revenge. I guess I would kind of, right? Essentially, you're out for revenge on what's happened to your tribe. You go out and you can choose which other tribes in the world to go and kind of partner up with, and then you try and get all the tribes together. It's just, there's so many options, and there's this light side and this dark element side of yourself. And dude, those two characters, honestly, the light kind of over your shoulder and the dark, they were annoying as can be. I'm like, I don't care what you guys have to say. And sometimes I went dark side, so I'm trying to choose mostly my dark stuff. And sometimes I thought the options, I couldn't quite understand if I was choosing the correct side for which way I wanted to, base my character off of. So I would start off dark, and then these two clowns would pop up, and then I end up choosing my last choice as the light side. I went, no, that's not what I wanted, right? Because it's not exactly clear cut as to how that works. So for me, that part was a little irritating. The narrator throughout the entire game can be a little overbearing. I think the story itself is really well done. I thought the story was cool. I love the elements in the world building within the game. And the world is huge.
Oh, it's massive.
Right? It's very expansive. Lots of options. That's just, I love the fact that I was just out there exploring the entire time. Like I was just it kind of felt like a little bit of a GTA and Beyond Good and Evil mixed for me. I set in one direction and then I'd be veering off somewhere else, right? It was kind of one of those kind of mechanics, and that's why I'm 50 hours into the game by the time I wrapped it up, because I was just off in other directions. But the characters, Corey, talk about the characters, dude.
Well, honestly, this world is full of so many different styles of characters, man. Whether, you know, they're allies or they're enemies, we've got a little bit of everything here. And like you said, the verbiage in this game is somewhat a little bit difficult to understand. You even mentioned that it's very kind of Dr. Seuss-like. And that, you know what, that's probably the closest comparison you could draw, is that some of the words used in this game, you mean, they don't mean anything to us in real life in our normal English, right? So it's
not at all.
It was a little difficult to kind of pick up on what was going on every once in a while, or just kind of what the character may be talking about. But again, the characters, we're getting animals of all different varieties, man. We've got sea otters all the way up to giant three-headed, fluffy, panda-looking things that wear pajamas, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's all different kinds of enemies, and just the way you kind of interact with everybody. You can talk to anybody in this game, and someone's got something to say. There's so much story here, and like you said, you could be playing through the main missions and rolling through objective after objective, but you pick up a ton of side quests along the way, and it is easy to just kind of switch quickly, and they do a good job at allowing, if you find a side mission while you're currently on one, they give you kind of a time period if you want to start tracking that quest you've just come across, if you really just want to jet off real quick and try that side quest, because some of them actually get you items and things that'll help you along the way, right? It's not necessarily something you want to just avoid completely. I think the side quest element in this game is massive. It will take a lot of extra time to go back and complete these quests after you complete the main story, but I mean, I think there's value in everything here, because everybody here in this world has something to say, whether they're good or bad, right? So I really love that element.
Yeah, I felt like I wasn't wasting my time. You know, sometimes you just get into these fetch quests and you're like, why am I doing this again? And I didn't get that feeling whatsoever. I just got the feeling of, I'm going to go do a quest for somebody else now and go explore some more of the world. And that's kind of where my whole headspace was at with this game. I just out to explore and see what I kind of come across. Dude, you can get lost in this game for hours. It's so easily done. The world is like, because it is so big, and it's not the same thing. It's not repetitive at all, right? So that's the bright side of it. I'm just running into constantly new things. Now, by the time I was grinding for my loot, by the end of the game, I was starting to get some of the same helmets and this, you know, some of the similar gear. But you break it all down, and then you can keep upgrading the current stuff you already have, and that's what I focused on. Dude, I had the one gun from almost the beginning of the game, but by the time I finished it, that same gun, because I changed out the variations on it so many different times, it was a completely different gun. Like, I was freezing guys by the time I was finished. Like, it was sick. And then you get these other powers. Corey, we didn't even talk about the powers, man, because there's so much here, man.
There's so much in this game.
Oh my god, there's so many things to get. And I was like, okay, how do I get this power to that power or this power? And you kind of combination with your buttons. So if you would hold, we played on Xbox, and I played on the Xbox Series X. Corey, you did the same, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But it is, so the game launches as a PS4 and an Xbox One game, but it's coming to Xbox Series X and the PS5 as upgrades, I would say this week as it drops, I want to say. Yes. So we played the base game. The new ones, the new iteration on that is coming forward. But getting into the powers, we would hold a left trigger, and then we use the face buttons in order to activate our powers. Dude, I had this big like ice thing that kind of put
ice.
like
the ice thing was so cool, man.
Right? And I'm burning people, I'm zipping around everywhere. Like, the game has so many options to customize your character and make you feel like my character is my character, and Corey, your character is yours, and it's catered to you, right? And that's the best part about this game. No one's gonna have the exact same character, and that's what I love. One of the things I love the most about Biomutant. Crack-a-doo. Corey, I think it's fair to say each of us loved Biomutant. There's nothing that's overbearing about this game. I think it's a great entry level, but yet there's still a lot to the RPG elements that's going to keep a lot of us around. There's so much to do, so much to love. There was a couple minute things, like the narrator does get a little annoying, but the best option is, Corey, you can actually turn that down. You can turn him down so you don't listen to some of the annoying things that he does, like the slurpy slurp and then this and that, and I'm just like, dude, really? Even though I left it on the entire time. But it's still, there's so much. I love this game, dude. I can't wait to see if they come up with a sequel, because I will be there on day one. This game for me, 9.5.
Oh, you know what? I knew it was going to be a high score for me too because you were really loving it. Honestly, Drew, this game is a ton of fun. I mean, we're waiting for Fable to come out. I know this isn't necessarily a Fable game, but this is Fable-esque, right? It gives you those feels, and this game is polished. Like you said, they took a little bit of extra time to make this one, and it was well worth it. The audio in this game is amazing. Everything that you run across, I mean, there's just so much variety. The individuality that you get out of this game is really what's going to keep you in there. The fact that my gameplay is going to be completely different than yours, completely different from the next person's. This game has it all and has it done it just right. You know what I mean? They've got it nailed just right where it needs to be. I'm right there with a 9.
Nice.
Love to see you shine on.
No one likes Perky. Perky's so uncool.
The night may be cool.
Tons of character customization options in a bright and colorful world will have you spending hours in this Fable-like RPG. Some of the dialogue can be tough to understand at times, but honestly, this one was definitely worth the wait.